Someone pulled on this too hard. So the curtain rod here, the anchor, has been pretty much detached from the wall. And here, as you can see, part of the drywall here is destroyed. So I'm gonna take the easy way out because the rod can be extended. So I'm thinking I can just move this bracket over to here and then call it done. And here I can just patch the wall and that's it. As the first step, I detached the wall mount from the rod. So as you can see, I pushed the curtain all the way over so that, the weight is not leaning on this side. No screwdrivers needed. The whole thing just fell. So yeah, everything here was destroyed. A problem I can see is that this anchor is a one-time use, I think. I do have some of these anchors to work with where you just hammer this into the drywall and then put the screw in. I guess we'll see if it works. I hope it will. To make sure I move the anchor laterally correctly, I'm using a level and then I drew a line just like this. And as you can see, now the bracket can be here instead of there. So all these rods are extendable. For example, see, I'm moving it and you can pull it out. Just make sure you don't go too far. I think that this is good enough because it's far away from here. So structurally, it's still sound up here. Just hope I don't run into a stud. So now I made the mark on the place where we need the new anchor to be. And to make the task less dusty, you can tape a box right down there to catch the dust. The bracket will pull this downwards. So I think it might be better to go in horizontally this way in this case. Okay, so that was really easy. I just hammered that in. Absolutely no dust whatsoever that came out. So the person who gave this to me was a genius, I feel. Wow. Okay, so I'll do another one here. And that's it. Just like that. I do feel we want to be a little bit more gentle when we push this in or hammer this in. Otherwise, we might break the drywall behind it. Okay, so this is it. See, the screw here wasn't done nearly as well as the one on the bottom because this part is taller. So ideally we disassemble this bracket further and do this part only. I don't know how much weight this is gonna hold. So far it seems okay. We extended the rod and we set it right on the bracket. So far so good, it's holding up. Okay, I think this is officially fixed. So as you can see, the installation was smooth and it worked pretty well, except that, after pulling the curtain string a few times, the anchor entirely fell apart, both of them. Alright, I think I need to go with something more heavy duty. This is recommended by Project Farm. I watched the Project Farm video on drywall anchors, and it seems this one was preferred. So I think I have one more chance in between these holes, and then I'll patch them too. See, the anchor choice was definitely questionable. And I really paid a price for it. Okay, I removed, the paint chips and all that, and this is the damage, the original damage, and this went loose, and this was you know, those hammer thing anchor. Don't use those if you're doing curtain work. And here, you know, it's the same thing as this one. Eventually it became this large. All right, we're gonna install the new anchors here. And before doing any work, since we have the curtain brackets off, we're gonna just patch the holes first. Alright, I chose to patch this first before we drill. It's because now everything is out of the way. Supposedly it's easier. So for this one, I resorted to a power tool. It took some time for this to go in. As you can see, this is really stable on its own. So hopefully this works. And the instructions say that these arrows should point up and down. And I thought, you know, part of it is plastic, but I think I was wrong. The whole thing is metal. It's easier to use a screwdriver to drive this in a little bit so the hole is defined, and then you can switch to power tools. Okay, now this is all done. We'll drive the screw in, and as well as the curtain bracket. What's interesting is once the screw goes all the way in, it still has some ways to go to open up the anchors in the back. So make sure it doesn't you can't turn it anymore, but don't overly tighten it either. It should be obvious. And now I don't have enough room because this is higher than this. I don't have enough room to tighten that one, but I realized that I can remove this part. They leave a hole here so you can access the screw up there to separate these two parts. Okay, now we should have enough clearance to work on the screw on top. Notice that it's all the way in already, but the wings in the back haven't opened yet. So if you pull this, it's gonna come out immediately. Alright, at this point, it's my belief that it's fully tightened. But only time will tell, you know, whether this holds. I'm gonna reassemble the parts together and give it a test drive. Alright, so far so good. It's not moving, going anywhere at all. With the other anchor that we hammered in, the top one went loose pretty much right away. So that's a huge difference. So Project Farm experimented a little bit. This will hold, you know, 1 inch will hold over 100 pounds of pulling force. So hopefully, man, please don't break on me again. And then this one, this time we installed, you know, this bottom piece right here, so the curtain string won't hang loose, which will prevent people from pulling it too hard, I assume. Alright, that's it. You know, as always, when you have a DIY project that's not going well at all, it seems impossibly hard. You probably have a wrong tool or parts involved. So do some research and restart. Good luck. And then I reinforced the drywall patch a little bit. You can always use more because later on you can sand it down.